Now, there is this question this instructor asked me, and I would like to highlight it in the video in case it will be a very good help to most of the teachers that are on ground and are facing similar challenges. Yes, a lot of people are facing this kind of challenge. Let me read a question for you before we get into the conversation. It says, hello, sir. Good evening. Hope you are doing great. Please, sir, can you share with me some of the basic classroom rules to manage most troublesome and stubborn abacus class since you have more experience than I do? All right. Now, I know that this is something that a lot of teachers have been experiencing in classrooms, certain classrooms. In every school, there's one particular class that is known for noise making, stubbornness, and all manner of things. You understand? And that class is one of the classes that a lot of teachers don't want to even go there. But it's your duty to be there. And there's a question of how to handle such a class when it comes to the abacus lessons. Okay. Now, as a teacher of abacus or as an instructor, your strategy should be unique, and how you approach class should be very unique. It should be unique in such a way that your class should be full of fun. Your class should be entertaining. But when it comes to discipline, you should be disciplined. You should create a structure in the classroom that when it's time for lessons, no joking. When it's time for lesson, no messing up. You understand? So you have to create a structure not for the student to fear you, but to earn their respect. You understand? So there are certain things that as a teacher you shouldn't do before the student. There are certain things you shouldn't say before the student. There are certain conversations you are not supposed to have with them, so that when you speak, they know that there is weight in what you are saying. But if you have conversation with the kids that exceeds their level, they realize you see that their respect for you reduces. And as a result of that, when you come to class and you are talking, teaching, explaining things, they see it to be a normal thing, and you see them talking, putting their hand on the table, doing something else and playing. But when they realize that you are a serious teacher, when it comes to teaching, you don't joke. They also comport themselves accordingly. You understand? So as a teacher of abacus in class, you should be very strict, but don't be harsh on them. Students are students. Teachers who are harsh on students, you realize that they are the teachers that most students tempt the most. That is how it is. So if you are harsh, students will always do something to arouse your anger for you to do something that they will laugh at you. You understand? But when you are serious, they'll also be serious with you. But when you are harsh, they will joke with you to arouse your anger. Have you seen the dynamics? So as a teacher, you shouldn't be quick tempered. That is how the structure is. Even though the students are going to say certain things, do certain things that will go to trigger your anger, but you need to hold still to your anger. That is it. Students are students. So as a teacher, you have to know how to control your temper. Imagine you go into a class, then a student will tell you, say, you're not serious. I've experienced it before, but ask me what I did. I just cooled down and actually forget about that, and I made a tell them, hey, you don't say that to a teacher. You understand? So it is not always that you punish them, but you let them know, hey, this thing, you don't say that to a teacher. Maybe that may be normal in their homes, but when they come to school, it should be different with you. You understand? Because our kids, they are raised naturally in that manner at home. So when they come to school, those things are normal. But you should let them know that they're in a different environment, and what they do at home cannot be done in the school. You understand? Some kids are allowed to speak to their parents anyhow at home, and that is what they're doing in class. Such students, when you call their parents, or when something happens and you inform their parents don't see anything wrong with it, because that is their normal lifestyle. So such a student, you should know how they're going to relate with that student. You don't give so much attention to that student, because the more you give attention to that student, the more that student will make something or will misbehave towards you that will arouse or trigger your anger, that will lead you to do something that you're not supposed to do. You understand? So such students, they should be on your reporting list. You report them to your manager, you report them to your head teacher in the school. You understand? You let them know that this is the kind of behavior this guy is living or this girl is living, so that in case anything happens, they know that this is what the child is doing. You understand? So as a teacher, you should be fun, you should be interactive, you should allow the kids to get close to you, you should play with them, you should have fun with them. But when they get to class, your seriousness will be top notch. It shouldn't be class section that you'll be joking with them. When it's class section and it's time for you to teach and you are joking with them, when it's time for you to teach, they'll also continue to be joking with you. Because naturally, students like joking more than learning. That is how it is. So teachers who like joking, you see that students love them. But when it comes to respect, they don't respect them. You understand? But you have to joke with them. Abacus is full of entertaining. You have to entertain them. You have to make them have the fun. But when it comes to seriousness, the time for you to explain, don't joke. Let them know they are serious. And I think that will going to be the solution. I hope I have answered you. If I've answered you, then we thank God for that. But if you think I've not answered you accordingly, you can come back in the comment section and then we talk about it especially. God bless you. See you another time. Yes, Sir Patrick.